Welcome back, everybody, to Pitt State Esports. We're getting ready to go. Got about 12 seconds until Map 1 kicks off here on the very first esports match of the season. If you're interested in Pitt State Esports, keep an eye out. There's some other leagues going on. Rocket League will be played, League of Legends, Valorant, as well as some eNASCAR. So some new ones to go around, and some of the old originals as well. Looks like Pitt State University starting off with an interesting comp, a little diva comp. They're going to try and run some rush, get to the point quickly, and try and maintain the point as well. Little backline warrior action as Genji and Venture will also be in the lineup. And then, of course, the speedster Lucio with Moira, a great combination at healer. For Washburn, it's going to be Sojourn and Kiriko as two of those main players, Reinhardt and Cassidy. And then Lucio as well on the healer. Lucio, a favorite pick for his speed boost, obviously. Pitt State's going to go straight to the point and try to hold their defense line there. Reinhardt with a good fire strike. Moira pumping out some damage. And Venture looking for someone to slam on. She gets a little hit on the back line and gets an early kill on Lucio, but she will go down in the process. Kiriko with good preventative measures there to keep everyone alive. Reinhardt focusing on the Genji in the back, and he's going to go for a pin, but luckily stops right before he goes offline. Washburn's going to have control early of the point, and that percent is going to start to rack up. Eva with a smart retreat. They need to get back and make sure that all their team is together before we get going and before they attack one more time. Sojourn holding that line. It's often a favorite of teams to go either around and through this front main choke or through that side where the wall is. But however, with Reinhardt, it is a scary move to do that. He will be eliminated pretty early on in the fight. Good job by Venture to take that away. McCree, it looks like, is going to have his high noon available, but he gets killed before it can happen. Pitt State with a team wipe, and they will have control of the point now. 33% has been ticked off by Washburn as they set up for the next fight and get prepped and ready. Cassidy gonna have his ultimate. Reinhardt right there getting ready for it as well. And we also have a Diva Bomb on Pittsburgh State side with Coalescence for Moira. Resupplying damage. Playing in that back row. Sojourn with a nice little shot there to keep everyone at bay for a few more minutes. High Noon's gonna get popped. Looks like they're all gonna retreat in time. And a good deflect by Genji. Hits that ult right back at him. And Diva's going to clean up the Reinhardt. Genji's moving in the back line, trying to get some ult charge. He's going to try and clean up that Lucio. Kiriko gone, and Pitt State once again has control. Cassidy stays alive throughout the fight, trying to build back up that high noon. Popped a little bit early, allowed Pitt State to get behind the wall in time. Genji with a nice deflect there, killed the entire push that Pitt State had. Two ultimates, Kiriko's ultimate and Reinhardt. You could probably expect that to be used in tandem as the Genji blade is popped. Cassidy with a good kill on the Genji, however, doesn't let that blade do any damage to his team. Kiriko now healing up Reinhardt, making sure he can stay in the fight. Moira goes down. So it looks like Pitt State's with just one healer here, and they're going to have to retreat, allow Washburn to take the point so that they can come back together for their next fight. Diva charging in. Venture with an ultimate is going to get one on the ultimate. Going to try and retreat, but is instead going to pop up and hit Sojourn. A nice little play to get to that health pack. Jericho doing some good healing for Washburn on the point. Valiant effort by Venture, but it probably not going to be worth anything. Probably needs to just die here or get out, and that is a good move by her. Moira needs to stay away, make sure she stays alive. She is very important to this next push as the main healer. Venture now. Got a Diva Bomb ready. And this is a good time to pop it as Reinhardt's pushed forward. Not going to get anyone on it, and Reinhardt, expect that to be the play of the game. 4 kills off of an Earth Shatter. And Washburn ticks above Pitt State's percentage. They're at 80% and counting. Genji coming back to the fight. No ults are going to be in play. That is going to hurt Pitt State as Washburn has almost everybody besides their Reinhardt with an ultimate. You could pretty much put money on Washburn being able to control this point. However, Washburn needs to keep control here, needs to not falter. Nice Lucio ult, the beat being placed. And and Kiriko ult at the same time. They're going all in on this fight as they want it to be the last. High Noon going to clean up the Ramattra, and now it's just easy pickings for the rest of the team. Venture trying to hold that pin. Not going to work out. Venture's going to try one more time to get around, try and stall a little bit, but it won't work as the first point goes to Washburn University. Some good plays throughout, mainly the ultimate usage by Washburn cleaned a lot of things up for them, as really they had all those ults stacked up towards the end, and it was a very good job of them to hold those, because in that last fight, Pitt State had 0 ultimates and Washburn had 4. A huge advantage for them, as it looks like West Point's going to make a change. He played very well on Reinhardt in the last map, but it looks like here he's going to move on to Doomfist, going off the sprays. Looks like Soap for Pitt State. Going to switch off of D.Va and instead use Ramattra. Never mind, she's going to switch back to D.Va right before the game starts. However, West Point will stay on Doomfist. So pretty much the same team comps, just a change of one tank. Favoring that. Nice little punch on Icy. And slamming around, trying to take control of the point. Venture now, playing against the Doomfist, will go under. Trying to clean up this Lucio who's low, and they will get the early kill on them. However, Icy is dead. 1 DPS down and 1 healer down respectively for each team. Cassidy doing good cleanup work, gets the Lucio from Pitt State down. And now the tank is gone, and Pitt State is going to have no one left to contest that point. Early controller of the point is going to be Washburn, as they're ticking up now. Icy trying to get some ult charge. Just flinging those stars wherever they can. West Point blocking, trying to charge up his fist. Gonna go for a nice play, and that's gonna get the Moira off at the cost of his own. Lucio with a good boop. Nice heads up play, and they're both down 1-1. However, the tank being away for Washburn is gonna cost them. D.Va's mech, she's now in just regular D.Va form, as West Point so good on Doomfist, gonna make the quick approach back to point and gonna be able to help in holding. Genji, however, gonna clean up Cassidy. Lucio takes care of the other Lucio. And now Pitt State in control of this point. Oh, that cleanup of Kiriko late is gonna be huge, as they're gonna have to wait for her to respawn before they can get a push onto this point. Doomfist waiting around. Some people are going to pick up some volt charge off of that. Everyone's back grouped up in together. They're ready to approach. Doomfist clearing some space for his team. They'll advance forward. Lucio gets booped around. He's low, but Moira's going to get punched into the wall. Cassidy now trying to take care of those healers in the back line. He is going to get Icy instead. Kiriko with a nice teleport away avoids the D.Va bomb as Venture eliminates Sojourn. Cassidy doing a nice cleanup job. D.Va gets demeched, and it's going to be a point for Washburn, unless someone decides to contest, which would be an interesting move at that state. They're going to count up from 40 as Pitt State regroups so they can push for the next fight. No ultimates besides that D.Va bomb for Pitt State. And it looks like Washburn has some built up now. Kiriko and Cassidy with an ult available. We do have a Genji Blade, which is going to be popped right here. Gets Cassidy, gets Lucio. Can they go another? Venture with a nice clip out, and it's going to be cleanup work. A team kill for Pittsburgh State. They take back the advantage, and now they're counting up from 45. 68% is what Washburn achieved, a higher contested match than the last one. They will have looks like 3 ults available once Sojourn gets hers. Doomfist gonna fly in as normal, go around the back of this building. He's gonna look for a sneaky little punch on someone, and here it comes. Not gonna get anyone as the Venture ult is popped. Gonna clean up the DPS and Kiriko. And Pitt State's got control of this one more time. They need to retreat. If I was Icy there, I probably would have maybe held off on killing that Sojourn. Required her to be apart from her team instead of allowing her to just respawn and then to group up. But it might not make a difference with how much time is being ticked off. Doomfist trying to control space. He's going to have a great opportunity with his Meteoric Slam. But Genji deciding that now is the time that he wants to play. That Sojourn ult is used. Duke is going to try and contest point as much as he can, but it should be all for naught as overtime is now over and the second point goes to Pittsburg State University. It is a tightly contested match here on the first control point. It's exactly what you want to see for Pitt State Esports. And it's good to see that they are coming out hot to start off. It's something interesting that we didn't really see a lot of last year, but they're a lot more aggressive than they were last year to speak. It looks like Genji, the Genji play has been perfect almost. Icy doing a great job of getting in the back line, taking control of those healers, and not allowing them to really play. There were a few times there that he got a little overextended, and Hin, who is now on Mei, looked probably a smart choice to try and counter that Genji. But before being on Cassidy, was able to take control of that Genji along with the team and take a few more times away and eliminate him before the fight even really got started. Now we're going to get the switch to Juno. Ash is moving to Juno. Was originally on Lucio, I believe, as we're going to still have the Kiriko for their team. Venture gets eliminated pretty quickly. The healing power of Juno, something to not be without mention. Juno is a great healer, able to really pick up space for her team as well with that speed boost. They're going to go back to the Rhine, switching off of Doomfist, deciding that that comp did not work for them. Eva still doing work on that Mei. And Icy is going to get the advantage over Shoop, taking McCree. And now Mei gone as well. And it could be advantage for Pitt State. They do lose Icy in the process, but he'll be able to get back quickly. And that is going to clean everyone up. Kiriko goes down. They'll have to wait for her to respawn. And Pitt State takes an early advantage. They're going to hold him at the spawn point. And Reinhardt, what a pin, comes out of nowhere on that Moira. Slams down with an Earth Shatter. Why not? Take control of this while you can. They're going to block for that Diva Bomb. Down to 27 health and we'll get eliminated. Uses the Earth Shatter, kind of untimely. His team wasn't all there with him. And an opportune Diva Bomb takes control and makes sure that they cannot push off of that insane Rhine pin. Rhine once again charging in full force, really making his healers do a lot of work. Mei ult gets popped, trying to control space. They should be able to take care of this Diva here, but they're not able to. Good healing by Pittsburg State. Venture ult is ready. We also have a Genji Blade on our side. Looks like the Juno ult is prepared. Orbit, and then the Kiriko ult as well. Genji, I can only imagine just getting prepared for that ult. Good thing that he did not pop it there as the Orbit goes into play. It would have directly countered his ultimate. Good job to hold off. Looks like Reinhardt gonna clean up Moira. And now Venture goes down as well. Good job by Genji to retreat. Diva needs to get out of there. Lucio gonna go give her some help on that outside. Trying to boop that Reinhardt way. Got a little overextended. Ryan needs to be careful as those DPS and healers are coming back for Pitt State. And they're not allowing too much room to be made, as he can be a little bit over-aggressive on that side. Genji Blade still in play, as I said. Diva Bomb, 87%, and here comes the Genji Blade. Not going to find his initial target, and Kiriko's going to teleport away at just the right time. However, runs into a Venture. No kills on the Blade, but the rest of the team, as they were scampering away from that Genji Blade, was able to clean up the rest of the opponents. 77%, and we tick on, try and take map number 1 for Pitt State. Venture ult. Looks like she's going to go on the flank. Yep. Just watch this. Going to go on the flank. Diva Bomb gets played. Ash goes down. Venture ult popped as well. They're trying to take it right here. They want this to be the last fight. 2 go down on the ultimates. Venture going to have to escape into the health pack. Pops up. To kill Mei here would be huge, but it doesn't look like they're going to get her. Reinhardt controlling point. He's all alone. Genji taking quick work of him. Gets him on the nice little play. Juno coming in off the speed boost, but they're coming in staggered now, and it's going to be over. The Mei ult, they do get a kill off it, and hold on here. We got some contesting. Diva is demeched, and it's going to be a healing battle. They're going to get her, though. That Mei kill, which I mentioned earlier, would have been so important, proves to be the difference here on this fight. But Genji taking it all for himself, the last man standing. He will retreat, but gets 2 kills in the process. Pitt State at 99%. All they need to do is win 1 fight, and they will win Lijiang Tower. Looks like they've got both healer ults at their, I guess, usability. Whatever they want to do with them, they got. And then the Genji Blade quickly coming as well. Juna ult gets popped, the orbit. But Coalescence and the Blade at the same time, along with Beat, is going to pretty much shut down this battle. Mei trying to put up a valiant effort. But overtime we go, and Lucio going to make sure no one can get the point. Map number 1 is taken by Pittsburgh State University. A good start for them. Lijiang Tower picked by Pitt State and won by Pitt State. Map number 1, and great performance, and I called it there at the beginning. This Earth Shatter was epic, to say the least. No shield on the opposing team to take away the Earth Shatter potential, and he has free reign over whoever it is. D.Va did leave in that situation to try and get some kills on the back end with a D.Va bomb to try and counter for that fact, but it's not going to be worth anything. It was a great performance by Pitt State to start. That first map, they kind of came out a little slow. It looks like they were, getting the rust off of their joints and whatnot. Need to put a little oil on it, but then they were able to come back later in those last 2 maps and take over. It was an interesting switch by West Point to go on to Doomfist, and I think that ended up being the difference. They had so much momentum going forth at the tank position. He played amazing, and you could see it there on that play of the game. He was able to take control just like that. Anytime he had his ult, he was a danger to Pittsburgh State. But it ended up being all for naught as they take the first map, and Washburn is reeling here. We're going to wait and see what the next map is going to be, but Washburn needs to win it as they will be the ones picking this map. It's absolutely important for them, and we'll see it here. It's going to be Kings Row, an absolute favorite in the Overwatch community, as it's one of the best maps ever created. Kings Row is going to be their choice, and they need to win this one, or else it's going to be looking dangerous, and Pitt State will have a 2-0 lead. Good news for Pitt State, however, as I know last year a few times they also were inclined to choose this map. I had mentioned that Lijiang Tower is a very normal pick in competitive Overwatch in general, Kings Row being a very normal hybrid map pick as well. Pitt State does take that first win. It's good momentum for them going forward. I mentioned that they had to come out here and get the momentum. Something that they didn't do last year was win that first map. It is very crucial in competitive Overwatch to win map number 1. If you do not win map number 1, there's a high chance you're going to be playing from behind. You're going to get more aggressive, and then it's going to become a chasing game. And that is something you cannot have happen in Overwatch. You have to play your game throughout the entirety of the competition. If you don't play your game, you're going to be behind. And that is what we're going to see here from Washburn. How they respond is going to really determine how the rest of this matchup goes. Washburn has a chance here with their picked map. As long as they play their game, don't get too aggressive, and just march this payload all the way to the finish line, they will be just fine in the rest of this matchup. For Pitt State, what you need to do is take advantage of the early momentum. Take advantage of what they have given you. You know now what Washburn prefers on their side. As you can see there, West Point favoring the Reinhardt pick again, and it looks like Shoop, who's more inclined for the hit scan characters, is going to go on Widowmaker for Washburn. Looks like on the Pitt State side, Elkrats and Prof Comedy going to once again go with the Moira-Lucio duo. They keep adding new healers into the game, and naturally so, I understand why they do, because we all need new characters. However, Lucio and Moira being a favorite in competitive play just about always. It seemed like they knew that the Widowmaker was up there, going for him immediately. Both sides going to have a Widowmaker as Icy is going to get eliminated quickly by Shoop. Shoop for Washburn does a good job of taking down Icy. Icy may need to go back to that Genji play as that Widowmaker did not work out to start. D.Va going to do a good job of charging Shoop, try and give her a little bit of stress in that back line. Boop on Widowmaker going to clean her up. And Pengu on that Venture, going to try and retreat a little bit as West Point controls so much space on that early going. Icy with a great kill on Shoot, but it still is just not going to make a difference here as West Point takes over, getting rid of those healers, and it's just cleanup work there. May takes out Icy on the Widowmaker. I would guess we are probably going to see a switch off of Widow here unless they are inclined to keep trying. And there it is, Genji coming back into the play. He's going to come quickly at Reinhardt. Good healing though from Ana, the Ana pick on the other side. An interesting choice as she's been kind of neglected in the few years with updates. But still, West Point going to take control. Soap gets rid of West Point. Venture on the flank. And they're going to go right over that May wall. He was trying to give her team some time to get back into the matchup. But now, Eva Bomb goes in from Soap. And it looks like they're going to be able to control this one. They're trying to clean up that May on the other side. Mistake by May. Needed to retreat. Needed to either die quicker or retreat as they were coming back into the foray. And it looks like Pitt State is going to control the early goings of this point. Genji trying to do some work on Reinhardt. Icy building up that ult charge. No ults at their disposal while Washburn has two. One gets popped there. Visor for Widow goes out. They can now see every single player for Pitt State. See there on your screen the highlighted red outline characters. Widow taking some work in the back line, going to instead try and go up top and flank around. Venture straight into the enemy team, going to pop up, probably use that great movement ability that Venture has to get out of harm's way. And then on the flank and clean things up, it's going to be West Point who goes down last, and a good job by Widowmaker to get out of there alive. One of those crucial things in Overwatch that a lot of people overlook. Everybody gets into the deeper mechanics of the game, but the most crucial aspect of it all is just staying alive. If you can be alive for your team, you're providing more value than just about anyone can with deeper mechanics. Eva now. Washburn has 3 ultimates at their disposal. So does Pitt State. Earth Shatter goes down, and it's a huge one. Gonna clean up a lot. May ult goes out as well. They are doubling down on this fight. Not gonna let anyone get past this first point, or at least they're not gonna let them get past it yet. We'll see who elects to use an ultimate next. Yep, there it goes. Diva Bomb on its way. That'll clean up the Ana in the back row. It looks like even though those 2 ultimates were popped, it still is gonna be in the favor of Pittsburgh State. So a good turnout for Pitt State. Even though a few players went down, they were able to still capture that first point. And now here comes the hard part on Kings Row. This last choke, so easy to hold for defending teams and so hard to push through if you are trying to get the payload through the work. Also, don't forget about that little open space on the map. We'll see if anyone tries to utilize that. But a little void there to the underworld. In Kings Row, Cassidy on the flank cleans up Venture. And Cassidy now working around. Genji's going to try and hide up top, stay away from all the danger. They do know that he's up there, but not too much to bother with as they can't get up there to him. The only one who can is Widowmaker, and it would be a march to death if she tried. So he's going to stay in the back line for now, doing some good work on the healers in the back row. Eva going to take the high ground, drops back down to defend her team. Moira in the back line. Reinhardt charging aggressively at her. Cassidy now trying to clean up Genji. He's going to get the better of Genji in the end as Venture cleans up Reinhardt, and it's going to be a 1 fight for Pittsburgh State. They are waiting on Genji to get back into the fight, but first, this point marches on ever further, ever closer to that final point. Earth Shatter goes down, and he's nanoed as well. Expect a big play here, a potential play of the game. Attacking the team, and needs to go for the backline, and now he does. Moira is down. Earth Shatter, another good one for Reinhardt. Cleans up 2, and now Pitt State's going to have to stall a little bit and wait for the team to get back together. Something, like I said earlier, that is so crucial is staying alive, especially on the hybrid points, because of time. Something that does not matter on those control points is time. Of course, obviously they have the percentages ticking up, but that's sort of just a limiter. On these maps, time matters because that depends on how much time you will get if there needs to be an overtime. Diva Bomb goes out, Cassidy goes down. Only one on the Diva Bomb, but it looks like it'll be enough to try and prevent Washburn from stopping them. West Point goes down as well. Now Kiriko follows, and it's going to be the Widowmaker as the only one alive for the Washburn Ichabods. Lucio out into the battle, trying to hold it down. Good coalescence from Moira. Diva attacks the Widow in the back line. And now West Point in with Doomfist. He's so quick on it. Diva gonna swallow up the High Noon, but not quick enough. Good hold there by Hin. Holds onto the High Noon just long enough and gets 2 out of the battle. Doesn't look like it's gonna be enough for Washburn though, as they're coming in staggered. As long as Genji gets back into the fight with his blade, it's over, but it's gonna be over before that can even happen. 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock, and Pittsburgh State marches the payload all the way down to the end of Kings Row. A very quick 3-0 start for Pitt State. Being able to push that map to the very end there is crucial. People often get held up at that first choke point, and sometimes that second point that you have to capture is hard to get to as well. But it's that third point, the one we're going through right now actually, that is so well set for the defense. They can put up in so many spots. There's so many different high ground opportunities. Washburn didn't seem to really take advantage of that in that last one, proving to have more ground-based characters with Reinhardt and the like. Widowmaker was really the only one that took advantage of the scaling walls of Kings Row. Pitt State is going to start off on Junkrat. We'll see how long that lasts. And it looks like we also have an Alari for comedy. The other side for Washburn, Zenyatta coming into the fray. Always fun to see Zenyatta, as way back in the day, I decided that my main was going to be Zenyatta. So always fun to see Zenyatta actually get played because he is so mistreated in the world of Overwatch. Tracer also going to be played as well. West Point now going to Diva. Interesting move for West Point. This is the first time we'll see him go on to Diva. Going to stick with the Widowmaker is Shoop and Kiriko as well for Ashes. Shoop electing not to use the high ground at all. They're letting them come through, holding that side point. Gonna hold the high ground as well. Genji trying to attack that back line. Deflects a Widowmaker shot right back into the Zenyatta. However, Tracer's gonna trade off and take care of that Junkrat in the back. Tracer's now gonna have free reign as they have no one to protect their healers in the back row. Eva gets rid of that Alari post. And now Icy takes care of Tracer, so that threat is gone. Being able to win this first fight for Pitt State would be crucial, as they would just tick more and more time off the clock. Tracer coming back into the fight now. Gonna immediately attack that back row. Linking around the Sigma play from Pitt State University. I'm sorry I didn't catch that before, but Sigma finally coming into the fight. We haven't seen him yet today, but he's a very highly played player in Overwatch League and at higher ranks. So it's good to see that Pitt State's trying to use his adverse abilities. So many ways that he can limit damage or mitigate damage on the defensive side that it's good to see him, especially with that retractable barrier, so crucial on Kings Row due to the many points that the team can come through. Diva now getting attacked, gets demeched, and gonna get cleaned up by Genji. No ultimates gonna be popped yet, but Blade is available for Pitt State. The Flux is gonna be on the way for Sigma as well, as he's at 93%. And then on the other side, Kiriko ult is available, and the Diva Bomb slowly approaching, as well as the Pulse Bomb for Tracer. We're also gonna have Transcendence by Zenyatta on the way. Pulse Bomb tries to get popped, but gets killed before it can come out, so it'll get a reset. Lucky enough for him, they'll be able to keep that ultimate and attempt to get another healer in the back line. Coalescence is back for Moira on the Pitt State side for the good guys. They're going to try and push around this corner, and now Pitt State holding this choke point. Always a risky move because of how quickly they respawn. But holding this point also means that they're going to have a tougher time of getting through, as there's not many entries to the other side of Kings Row. This wall blocks so much damage. Normally, you see on Kings Row the other team defending that line right where Sigma is at right now. That way they can circle around and also take control of the high ground if needed. Not going to see that as D.Va does her job to create some space in the background. A Transcendence pull from Zenyatta. An interesting move, but it seems to work out for him. That's why it's interesting, because now the blade comes out. If he would have held on to that Transcendence, he could have avoided all the kills coming from Pitt State now, as the DPS are the last ones left alive, and they're the last ones to hold the point. Washburn, under 1 minute remaining to take this opening point. It looks like Pitt State exhausted a lot of their ultimates holding that choke, as West Point smartly goes back to the Reinhardt play. Something he probably should have stayed on the entire time. He played so well on Reinhardt in that first match. It's interesting to see him switch off it. Kiriko ult gets popped now. They're going to have a chance. Lamp goes out and gets eliminated by Kiriko. And the window goes down from Baptiste as well. They're going to try and amplify that damage, but he goes down. Venture play now from Hin. And he's going to get pinned on the other side as Venture. Icy goes down from Venture from Washburn. They're going to take this point, but with just seconds remaining, that clock should reset if it doesn't get to overtime, which it does, but it will reset for them. They'll have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to push down just over, excuse me, exactly half the time that is left on Pitt State's clock. So should they push this all the way, which of course there's a good chance of that now that they have some momentum going behind them, and now that they've kind of found the right characters to counter Pitt State's offensive. As Earthshatter goes out, and it's huge. Genji getting cleaned up by Ashe. The main proponent that did not get shattered will go down. But like I was saying, it's going to be huge for them to push this point and push it quickly, because with just 1:15 remaining on Pitt State's clock, that means they have a lot of time should we go to overtime. Sigma holding this corner. Reinhardt going to push right into him. Sigma going to create some space with his barrier. Reinhardt going way too far, a little overextended on the other side, but he's going to get saved by his great healing. Venture now fighting into the back line. Coalescence gets popped, and Moira's going to get killed during her Coalescence. An interesting play that's not happening very often. If you're Moira in that case, you need to stay towards the back and make sure that you cannot get taken care of. Make sure that no enemy can get close to you, and just let the Coalescence work as it hits multiple people all at the same time. West Point now playing so strongly on the Reinhardt, so aggressive as well. Takes care of Venture. And they're going to push this point well up into Kings Row, trying to take this capture point. Blade comes out. An interesting move by Icy, but it's going to partially pay off for him as he cleans up both Kiriko and Ashe. A crazy move to pop the Blade right there, as most of his team was not even there with him. They show up now, however, but it's going to be without that DPS. They should have the advantage in this fight, but West Point doing a great job of cleaning people up. Venture, Pengu doing so great on Venture, cleaning up everybody as we go. And that's going to take some much needed time off of Washburn's clock. Now, trying to regroup for this potential final fight. Need to at least get to point. They're not even going to get to point. Reinhardt's going to make a final push for it, gets there just in time. Thankfully for Washburn, or else they would have had a tough time just watching that back in film. Even now, doing some cleanup work. Looks like Pitt State's got the advantage in this fight. Proved ever more as the Kiriko ult gets popped just to try and get her team back into the fray. But Pitt State is going to win Kings Row as well. Washburn's pick of Kings Row not going to prove to be good for them. Icy going to get the play of the game. Take a look back at this one. Icy's done a great job on Genji. We saw him very early on the Widowmaker. gets eliminated almost immediately by Shoop, and then smartly decides to go on to Genji. You can see there the deflection. Such a great play by Genji, and such a good job by Pitt State to win map number 2. When we come back, map number 3 to see if Pitt State can sweep Washburn to start their esports venture. You're watching Pitt State Esports here in the MCEC Conference. Welcome back, everybody, to Pitt State Esports. The map set goes as shows. Pitt State winning Kings Row last one 3-1 as they were able to push the point all the way through Kings Row, which is impressive in any competitive Overwatch. If you've played Overwatch, you understand that it's hard to get through Kings Row's final capture point, but they were able to do it. Then they hold Washburn. Washburn was able to get that first point on the hybrid map and held them on the push right before they could get capture point number 2. And so on we move to Servasa. Good map for Pitt State. They enjoy this one. One of those flashpoint maps. So I imagine Pitt State's going to go to their quicker characters, and it looks like they will, electing to play that team that they played in the very first matchup of the day at Lijiang Tower. Going to be Genji, Eva, Venture, Moira, and Lucio with the speed. Washburn with an interesting comp. Going to come out with Junker Queen for the very first tank of the Flashpoint. Reaper in there as well, a team we haven't seen yet. They're really trying to switch things up. Junker Queen goes straight into the fray, swinging that axe around. And now D.Va trying to clean up on the other side for Pitt State. Genji going to take care of Reaper. Moira takes care of Genji, a back and forth, throwing haymakers between the two teams. As now the two tanks are alive, but D.Va gets cleaned up after she's demech'd, and the first flashpoint is going to go to Washburn. So some good ult charge was built there by D.Va. Really the only one on Pitt State's team that was able to get a good amount of charge. The others kind of lagging behind a little bit, but should change here in the upcoming fight. Reaper ahead of everyone with 46% on his ultimate. Interesting choice for Reaper. However, I think it's a good pick due to the fact of Eva not being able to cancel all of his damage, and then Venture being an up-close character as well. However, with Venture's movement, and the movement of Pitt State in general, it is an interesting choice to pick Reaper, but we'll see if it works out for him as the day goes on. Junker Queen's taken care of, now Lucio, now Cassidy, now Moira, and it looks like Pitt State, after taking care of Reaper and having a team kill, is going to take this first flashpoint back. 77% for Washburn. Pitt State's going to try and hold this point. Same kind of aspect as the rest of them. Getting that early momentum in the maps is so crucial. However, on Flashpoint, I feel like it's a little bit different, and that's, some of my aggression towards these maps. But you got to make sure that you hold these points and hold them strong. It does give the advantage to the other team, gives them a chance to go and get the other point and take control of the other point before the defending team can get there due to the respawn. Eva Bomb goes out, not going to get anyone. But Comedy is able to get Cassidy. Now Icy cleans up Reaper, and Washburn's without a DPS. Especially now that Moira's out. Junker Queen gets taken care of, and Lucio gonna scamper away in fear. 77% coming up. Pitt State passes Washburn's total. And it looks like Washburn's just gonna try and play for the next point. Yeah, not making a real push here. They are coming up towards the point. Never mind, they're going full force. Junker Queen pops her armor ability and then pops her ult. He's going to get a few on that one. Throws out Gracie. Now swinging the axe around, but the beat comes in well-timed from Comedy, and Coalescence as well being used. Two good healer ults for Pitt State. And they're going to hold on to Venture. Never mind, Venture pops her ult just to try and take advantage of the point. 3 ults get popped in this fight, and it still looks like Washburn's going to have a chance. They are getting cleaned up here, but D.Va being demeched was so crucial to that fight. They still take the advantage, though, rightly so, after popping 3 ults. And now we're going to be left to try and take the next flashpoint. 1-0, Pitt State starts. Good to take the first point, get that momentum back. They'll be defending from the way they came. Pitt State leading 2-0 in total. Win this map here would mean to sweep the entire series. As a Zarya switch for West Point, trying to take advantage of the high damage output that Pitt State has. Clear ball goes out for damage. Always like a DPS Moira. Lucio bouncing around, just trying to gain some ult charge. Using that speed boost now to try and get his team right into the middle of the enemies. Genji Blade comes out for Icy. Gonna try and take care of, gets Lucio, but gets eliminated by Reaper. Reaper gonna clean up that D.Va, and now it's Lucio versus Reaper. Comedy unable to take down the damage potential of Reaper. Reaper tells y'all to keep calm and reap on. They'll take this first flashpoint. They'll be the first ones to count a percentage. Now, do not be afraid for Pitt State Esports. They will come back, and they'll be able to put up a good fight here. However, this flashpoint is hard to take if you're an attacking team. Venture getting chased down by Reaper, needs to make sure she gets out of there alive. Eva Bomb is available for Pitt State, and it looks like a Death Blossom is available as well. Eva Bomb goes out, bounces off that back wall and gets Lucio. But the Death Blossom goes out, as well as a Coalescence. And then Soldier, who's a new character, comes in. It looks like Washburn had a substitution. Sushi Sensei coming in to take over and relieve the duties of Shoop, who was in originally. West Point cleans up Genji, and they will have control of this map. Now becomes the interesting choice for Pitt State. Do they mount another attack? Looks like they're all grouped up, and that's what they're going to do. Genji going to attack Soldier in the back line. Going to get him. Icy with a good kill in the back. Beat goes down for Lucio, so it's going to be tough to do any damage on them. Zarya is charged up and fighting away. Up to 100 charge for Zarya, and the Her graph goes out and collects everyone on Pitt State's side. A nice triple kill there for West Point off of the nice grab right in the middle of point. And that is something that a lot of the Overwatch League players have critiqued about these Flashpoint maps, is how tight they are. Allows a lot of plays like that to happen. But the third Flashpoint unlocks and we're 1-1. This one very interesting as it kind of sinks lower than all the surrounding areas beside it. But once you take control of this point, it's very hard to hold it due to the lack of high ground that you will have. The switch to Ramatra for Soap. We saw him go to Ramatra in the last matchup. We'll see how long this sticks. Reaper coming right into the middle of everything. Gets a Zarya bubble, and Ramatra gonna go fists only. Sensei with a nice Helix rocket takes care of Venture. Reaper takes care of Genji. It looks like Washburn gonna have the advantage if they can clean up this Moira. Moira shield bouncing, shield dancing very nicely. Ramatra throws out a prayer, but it's not gonna be enough as Moira, doing her best DPS work, cleans up the rest, and they will have percentage ticking up for them on Flashpoint E. Pitt State was able to acquire 31%. We'll see how well that does them in the end. Ramatra, interesting pick against Zarya. Comes down to whoever you feel most comfortable with against whatever character. Analytics can say you should play this character, you should play that character, this character has a direct counter, but in the end, if you're not good on that character, you're not going to do anything against the opposing team. Death Blossom goes out and will get Moira, but Soap, using the fists, takes care of Zarya. Genji Blade from Icy gets Moira on their side, and they're going to clean up that Reaper on the back end. Now just 2 players left. Looks like Tracer's going to try and make it out of there. Going to try and come back. Interestingly, tries to hold the point. Ramatra going to have his ult. Lucio beat available as well. Moira ult should come quickly in the next fight. No one for Washburn has their ult yet. But Pulse Bomb is slowly approaching. Engu gets caught up with the Zarya, but is able to get out of there alive. And Soap on Ramatra doing good work. Still has his ult. And now he's going to use it, going all in with the beat. Throwing punches, haymakers left and right. He will take care of the Zarya with that advantage. Lucio or Washburn going to have to try and hold the best he can. He has the beat. But does he have the rhythm? And no, he doesn't. He's going to allow that flashpoint to go by, and they'll try and fight for the next one. Once again, with these flashpoint maps, for those teams that control, you end up having, for the quickest route, I should say, you can obviously go a multitude of directions to the next point, but for the quickest route, you have to walk almost directly through the enemy team's spawn. So it's always interesting to see how these teams do it. Soap was able to get away in that fashion. Well, now, oh, a triple kill on the Pulse Bomb. What a Pulse Bomb from Sensei. Man, if that's not play of the game, I'm going to be upset. A triple kill on a Pulse Bomb. Normally, you're just going for one, trying to get a healer in the back line. That's why it recharges so quickly, is because of its low damage potential. But screw low damage potential, because we get a triple kill from Sensei right there. Venture ult is going to be available for Pitt State. And it looks like Death Blossom approaching for Washburn. They also have the Lucio beat. Venture attacking Reaper, going to shoot up on him, and he's going to try and phase away. Zarya now doing a good job protecting her team. That new Zarya change where she gets 2 bubbles no matter what is really a good change for the character overall, being able to decide when to give it to teammates and when to give it to enemies. Of course, that change happened a long time ago, but still, it's been a good one for the character. Allowed more vitality for the character overall. So, pushing forward, we have a Venture ult available. Both DPS have their ults available, and it looks like a Ramatra ult slowly approaching. At 94%, Soap is. Beat gonna come down from Lucio, but it's a little too late. The blade gets out, and that time it took Lucio to get down is gonna be the difference as Moira gets taken out quickly. now it's just cleanup work for Ramatra, going fists only. And then throws out just a little exclamation point, trying to keep them away from his point. 99% was reached for Washburn, so all they have to do is win one fight and they'll take this next flashpoint. This is the most highly contested match I think we've seen yet, as both teams are just taking control of the point and not letting up at all. Icy trying to build that charge. Like I mentioned, Venture never popped her ult in that last fight, so it's still available. However, there is both DPS ults available for Washburn. Venture ult comes out, and Ramatra on the offensive probably should not pop his ult there. Death Blossom comes out, however, and Soap doing a good job of holding him off. Barrier comes back at a crucial time, but that pulse bomb is going to get Soap on the back end. Icy, however, proving that he is the dominant DPS in this matchup, and cleans up the rest of Washburn's team. 95% ticking upwards. It looks like we're going to go to a little overtime battle here to see who's going to take control, if Pitt State's going to win it all, or if Washburn's going to take it back and live on to breathe for at least a few more hours. Ramatra ult gets popped, and there's the criticism of the flashpoint coming back, but it's in favor of Pitt State this time, so I love flashpoints. A great job by Pitt State, winning map number 3 to take the series 3-0. Just a great job by Pitt State altogether. And there it is. The triple kill pulse bomb is going to be the play of the game. All of them caught in that grab, and then doesn't even blink away. Just steps to the side to admire the play that Sushi had. It's really interesting, as Washburn had 2 out of the 3 of the plays of the game, but they were not able to win any of those matchups. You can see there, Pitt State takes the first 3 in dominant fashion, for that matter. They came out a little slow on Lijiang Tower, but since then, it's been all gas and no brakes. Ever since that Reinhardt play from West Point, where he decided to switch off and go to Doomfist, Pitt State has had the advantage. That tank play by both teams has been amazing, but Pitt State was able to get the advantage. Soap doing a great job of taking control whenever they can on that Diva for some portion of the game, and then switching around as they went. Ended up playing a few different characters on the other side for West Point. Had Doomfist at one point, as well as Zarya. It was kind of an interesting matchup. And then Soap going to Ramatra was the final dagger, as they were able to control so much space as Ramatra does. And then that final ultimate to seal off that last map using Ramatra's ult. Obviously, anyone inside it is going to be the cause for his ult to go on. So no matter how much time is on the ult, he takes it all the way through. Well, Pitt State is going to take the very first match of the esports season. Keep an eye out for Rocket League, Valorant, League of Legends, and eNASCAR here on Pitt State Esports. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Daryl McLeod, signing off.